Welcome to Next Level Online. My name is Jason, and once again, I'm going to be one of the first smiling faces to say welcome to Next Level Church. And happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. You see what I have on. You see it. My daughter got me this shirt. And I want to say thank you to my kids, because without my kids, I wouldn't be a father. So thank you, Layla and Langston. Listen, our service is going to start in a few moments. Hey, dads, this is for you. We have a giveaway. All you have to do is comment the catch line that I'm going, nope, I can't tell you. But in a few moments, our discipleship pastor, Eric, is going to tell you what that key word is. Dads, get ready to put it in the chat. Hey, moms, kids, go ahead. If dad's still sleeping, wake him up. He still has time to roll over, put on some slippers, put on a shirt, and get ready for our service. Listen, our service starts in a few moments. Again, happy Father's Day to all the dads. And please know that there is a catchphrase that you would need to drop in the chat. Not your wife, not your kids. Dads, we need you to do it. It's real simple. Our service starts in a few minutes. We'll see you in a moment. Well, welcome to Next Level Church. My name is Jason, and can you see how excited I am? Dads, it's our day. Happy Father's Day. Layla, Langston, thank you. You made me a daddy. I am a proud daddy. I got my shirt on. It's just a great day to be connected to Next Level Church online. Listen, let me pause real quick and to say a prayer for all our fathers before we go any further. Would you pray with me? God, we thank you for all the dads out here. We ask you to continue to keep our hearts encouraged, give us strength to not only cover ourselves, but to cover our families and lead well. We thank you for all these things. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Now listen, in just a few moments, you're going to hear some great worship. And as I said in the intro, look, there is a catchphrase that Pastor Eric is going to give you in the know. Dads, you have to drop it in the chat. Moms, you can't help us out with this one. Kids, you can't help us. Dads, this is for you. Please, we have a great prize for you. All you have to do is just drop that key word that Eric is going to tell you in a few moments in the chat. And at the end of the service, one of our hosts will drop it and who won. All right? So let's get ready for some impactful and powerful worship. See you in worship.
Well, good morning, Next Level Church Online. We're so glad you decided to join us in worship today. We're going to begin singing about how we have found joy in Jesus. Let's sing out together. In Jesus, there is nothing like your presence, and I will sing of all your goodness, where all my fears fade to praise. Let's sing Savior. Savior, there is nothing like your freedom. I'm dancing with the hope of heaven, where all my fears fade to praise. Let's sing all I want. And all I want, more of you and less of me. All I want, living in your victory. All I want, nothing like your freedom. As I'm dancing with the hope of heaven, where all my fears fade to praise. And all I want, more of you and less of me. All I want, living in your victory. All I want, let your glory fill this place. Jesus, there's joy when I sing your name. There's joy I cannot contain. This joy all of my days. You will be praised. You will be praised. Joy when I sing your name. There's joy I cannot contain. This joy all of my days. You will be praised. You will be praised. Oh yes, you will, God. You will be praised, Jesus. We thank you, Lord. We'll sing all I want, and all I want, more of you and less of me. All I want, living in your victory. All I want, let your glory fill this place. Jesus, it's all I want, more of you and less of me. All I want, living in your victory. All I want, let your glory fill this place. There's joy when I sing your name. There's joy I cannot contain. This joy all of my days. You will be praised. You will be praised. Joy when I sing your name. There's joy I cannot contain. This joy all of my days. You will be praised. You will be praised. Yes, you will, God. You will be praised, Jesus. Yes, you will, God. Well, good morning, Next Level Church Online. My name is Lane, and we're so glad you're here this morning singing and worshiping with us. We're going to begin singing about what God has done for us, how our sin and debt is gone because of what he did for his son, Jesus. Let's sing out. Whoa, wasn't for nothing that you shed your blood. So I'm gonna live like my shame is gone. Won't be shackled to the way I was. So I'm gonna live like my chains are gone. Gone. Now my sin is dead and gone, and I sing hallelujah. Oh, done, done. He is risen. Weapon that will overcome. So I'm gonna shout like the battle's won. Yeah. Fall back, devil, cause your time is up. And I'm gonna live like the stone is gone. Gone. Now my sin is dead and gone, and I sing hallelujah. Oh, done. He is so risen and is done, and I sing hallelujah. How great the power of the blood. Let's sing this out. And I am the righteousness of God. done. He is risen and it's done, and I sing hallelujah. Oh, God, now my sin is dead and gone, and I sing hallelujah. Yeah, oh, done. He is risen and it's done, and I sing hallelujah. Amen. Won't you pray with me? God, we're so thankful to know that you sent your son Jesus so that we could have new and eternal life in you. We thank you that our shame is gone and that our sin and debt is paid because of what you did for your son Jesus. We love you and we thank you for this time we've had to sing and worship you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Well, happy Father's Day to all the dads that are watching right now. As Jason mentioned to you, I'm about to give you a key word that if you're a dad and you're watching, if you drop this key word into the text, then you're going to be entered into the chance to win a gift card. So here's the phrase. So if Dad, if you're not next to the computer, then moms, wives, whoever, scoot over, let the dads type this in. And the key word is next level dads. Next level dads. So go ahead, drop that in the chat. You'll be entered into a chance to win, and we will announce that in our chat at the very end of our service. So do it now before the end of the message. Well, let me just share some things that are happening in the life of our church, and just a reminder to you that we'll be dropping some links in the chat in case you forget about any of the details of what we're talking about. The first thing I want to share with you is next Sunday night, we are going to be having a night of worship. That's right. It is an extended time for us to be able to engage with God, singing and worshiping together. So that's happening on the 27th, and it's going to be happening at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, it'll last about an hour. And so you don't have to sign up with tickets. We want you to show up, come ready to engage with God in worship. In addition, the very next Sunday, July 4th, that's right, July 4th falls on a Sunday. We are mixing it up a little bit. Now, I'll say this, if you only worship with us for Next Level online, nothing is not going to change for you. We're still going to be here during our regular time at 9:30, but everybody else, lean in. I know some of you are worship online sometimes and you're in person. On July 4th, we're going to have one service, and that service is going to be happening at 9 o'clock, and it's going to be an outdoor service. Now, it's going to be abbreviated, and let me tell you about some of the things that we're going to be doing. This is going to be a great opportunity for you to connect with one another, to experience some koinonia, some fellowship, some togetherness. We are going to be having the opportunity, one, that if you want to get baptized, you can get baptized on that Sunday. And then we're going to be serving breakfast. That's right, we're going to have breakfast all together. And we're going to be outdoors. It's going to be a great time for you to connect with other people. So if you ever come on Sunday mornings, you're like, man, I wish I had more time to get to know some other people. This is a great opportunity. Here's what we're asking you to do. Bring yourself and bring a chair. That's right. You need to bring a chair or blankets or something. And we'll be in the outdoor at the field behind our Next Level building. And maybe for some of you that have been worshiping with us online, this might be a great opportunity for you to come and hang out with us in person. You're more than welcome to do that. Now, if you're wondering, in the case of rain, what we're going to do is move that time inside. So it's good, rain or shine, we'll be outside if it's not raining. If it is raining, we'll be indoors. We'll be celebrating with baptism. So if you want to sign up for baptism, go ahead and do that today. The last thing that I want to share with you is if you happen, this is really for those of you that are new to Next Level. If today's your first time with us, we want to invite you to take something called the Stick for 3 Challenge, and we want to invite you to come back to Next Level 3 more times so you can get to know us, we can get to know you. We'll put a link in the chat of how you can sign up for that challenge. But then also maybe you've taken the Stick for 3 challenge, or you've been in Next Level for a while and you're like, I want to get to know some of the nuts and bolts about Next Level. I want to be able to know more about the heartbeat of Next Level. We have something that is called the Next Steps Seminar. And that's going to be happening for 3 weeks starting in July. So it will be the second Sunday in July is when we will be hosting the very first Next Step seminar. It's a 3-week commitment. And if you want to sign up for it, learn about a little bit more, you can follow the link in the chat. And finally, to find out how we're making a difference, check this out.
Hey Next Level, my name is Scott and I'm the executive pastor. And this here is my friend Iron Man. He's one of my favorite superheroes. Iron Man, can you say hi? No? He's the strong silent type. Well, superheroes are all the rage right now. Tons of people line up to see the latest Marvel movie, and while less people line up for DC movies, sorry DC fans, people are still watching them. On top of that, there's plenty of superhero shows being released, so there's no shortage of superheroes in our pop culture today. But did you ever stop and think why we are drawn to superheroes, or just heroes in general? Is it because of the powers they have, the tech or gear they use, or is it because of the amazing adventures they get to go on? Sure, those are all part of it, but I believe one of the main reasons we are drawn to superheroes is their willingness to sacrifice for the good of others. If they see people in trouble, they're willing to risk anything and everything, including their own lives, to help others. That draws us in, it inspires us, maybe even makes us wish we could be like them. Well, we have an opportunity for you to be a superhero to people in need, and it's through giving blood at the blood drive we're hosting here at Next Level on June 21st. How can that make you a superhero, you ask? Well, donated blood is essential for surgeries, cancer treatment, and traumatic injuries. When you donate blood, it can save up to 3 lives. Saving lives sounds pretty heroic to me. And yes, donating blood can be uncomfortable and intimidating, but aren't heroes willing to sacrifice to save others? So what do you say? Are you willing and ready to be a superhero? Are you ready to give blood? If so, scan the QR code that's in the bottom of your screen, click the Make a Difference link, and sign up for an appointment, and be a superhero for someone. Now please welcome our lead pastor, Pastor Rob.
Happy Father's Day and welcome to Next Level Church. Man, I'm so excited that you're here today. We have a special treat. Now, this is a special treat. I think dads are going to love this, but even if you're not a dad, you're going to get a lot out of this. Today, we've brought in a special guest. Today, we brought in the grandson of Charles Stanley, one of the most famous pastors in America. He's also the son of Andy Stanley, who just so happens to be my favorite preacher to listen to. But here's the thing, he's not a preacher. He's a comedian, and he's a very funny comedian. In fact, he's one of the funniest and one of the most popular up-and-coming comedians around. And I've been following him for a long time, and I guarantee he's gonna make you laugh. He has such a great sense of humor, and we wanted to do this to provide dads with just a chance to laugh, just a chance to appreciate some life, and I think you're gonna get a lot out of today's special guest. So with that being said, would you make some noise in the chat? Would you put some clapping emojis, some woo-woo emojis? Would you make some noise for our special guest today, Andrew Stanley?
Hey, Next Level Church, Andrew Stanley here, stand-up comedian. I'm excited to be with you today on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. It's right now, this is a few days before I'm pre-recording this, so I'm assuming it's a happy Father's Day. But right now, if you're watching this, you're watching online, and I am actually physically at Next Level Church doing some stand-up in the services, but in preparation for that, I've been talking with Scott Rudder, and he was like, Andrew, we're really glad you're coming for Father's Day, but also a large, group of our congregation are still watching online. Would you be willing to do something for them? And I said, yeah, you mean just get my laptop in my room and, just do stand up to my computer with no live audience to let me know if I'm doing well or not, getting 0 endorphins from people laughing, and then just kind of send that to you hoping that it's good. And he was like, yeah, that would be great. So this is that. Welcome to me, alone in my room, doing stand-up just for you. And you might be enjoying this at home. I can't know if you are. So I hope you're laughing throughout this. We're in my bedroom right now. I'm used to doing shows with like stage curtains. These are just like my bedroom curtains. That is where we're at. I did last year get a little bit used to this. We did a lot of virtual comedy shows. So doing shows in my room, in my bedroom, just like my parents always hoped I would. But it is very good to be with you guys. I am excited. Happy Father's Day. I have a father. I come from a preacher family. My grandfather is a big Southern Baptist TV preacher. My dad is a pastor. And I do this. So they are just giddy about it. I think this is just a more fun version of preaching. You know, I don't have to baptize anybody. That's gross. I am not trying to get in a hot tub with some sinner. I don't know where they've been. You know, if they're washing it off, I don't want it floating over to me. And I'm not trying to catch the reason they're here. Especially now with COVID. I was like, I don't know when we're going to be able to safely baptize people again. I thought all the churches were going to have to buy those carnival dunk tanks. And then the pastor could just throw a softball from 6 feet away to see who gets into heaven. I think that's a better system. I think that should just be the new way. I think people will start going back to church. I think you'd be like, I had tickets to see the Washington football team this Sunday, but Pastor Shepard is pitching with salvation on the line, so I guess we better go to that. Seems more important, you know. They can get everybody gathered around, just like, all right, here we go. Sorry, you are out. Come back next week with more tokens, and we'll see if we can get you up there. We do tokens now. I'm pausing for laughter. I don't know. I do think stand-up is more fun than preaching. It's probably easier than preaching. Like, as a comedian, you can talk about whatever you want. Every Sunday, my dad has to just do a new book report about the same book every week for the rest of his life. It doesn't change. People will send him mean emails. They'll be like, this Easter service sounds a lot like the one from a few years ago. And he will just be like, yeah, okay, got me. Sorry, the material has not changed. You know, you can't just add stuff in. The author is always listening, and he has a violent history. So we gotta be careful. Not messing with that guy. Not trying to get turned into salt. My dad does have one career advantage over me, other than the money, which is a pretty big difference. But it's what happens if like a stranger finds out what we do. Like if a stranger finds out I'm a comedian, they'll be like, oh, tell us a joke right now. And that gets old. But when strangers find out my dad is a pastor, they would slide into the booth with him at the restaurant he's eating at and start telling him about their divorce. And, you know, that seems way better. Tell me about your divorce. I can use it. He will not even talk about it. I will talk about it a lot. I'll make it funnier. You know, we can work on it together. It could be a fun little project during your tough time. It worked out great. My dad's a pastor during the pandemic because back in April of last year, my little sister had to get married. She did not have to get married. Probably not the way she would have me phrase that. There's not an incident or anything. They were in love for the appropriate amount of time. And they were going to get married. And then everything happened and they had to change their plans. They still got married. It was not the 400 people they had invited originally. It was 12 of us at my parents' house. Because the virus hit right in the middle of wedding season. I think a lot of couples had to change their plans. I think most were like, oh, we'll just wait, get married later. But all like the really Christian couples were like, we have actually been waiting on some stuff, and we are getting married right now, actually. We had some pretty big plans for this month, and we will get married in the woods Braveheart style. That's fine. We can do that. That worked for them, kind of. Just a fun joke about my little sister I like to do. I don't know. As a stand-up comedian last year was weird. A lot of this type of stuff. So just so fun. And I actually, like many stand-up comedians last year, I moved home with my parents, for a few months, just to make sure they were okay. They were. I had a great time. I was with them for 3 months. I was working out with my mom every morning in their basement. I don't know if you guys have worked out with my mom before. It is brutal. She is so much stronger than me. I mean, I could not keep up. She is great at working out. Terrible, though, at the workout playlists, I learned. Her workout playlist is a Billy Joel album. And, Uptown Girl, I should not squat to that, probably. If my dad comes downstairs, he's going to send me back to that awful camp. About half the people usually understand that joke. I don't know. We had weird upbringings. I have a brother and a sister. We were all homeschooled before it was mandatory. Everybody's homeschooled now. We were before it was required. We did it when there were other options. And for those of you that may have experimented with homeschooling this past year, you've learned something that I've known for a very long time, which is that homeschool does not work. And I don't think it's ever worked. It's like with the pandemic, they were like, oh, let's all just start doing this thing that works. It has not worked. For example, I was homeschooled for 10 years, and I just know all the stuff my mom knows. Turns out that wasn't enough. You need more than just what your mom knows. My mom is great. I need more people involved in me. I can do the stuff she does. I can make frittata. I have never been able to do long division, but I am actually pretty good at making my dad feel guilty about stuff. So I didn't learn nothing, I guess. Picked up some stuff, but I don't know. Homeschool is hard. Not academically, but socially, it's tough. Like, I didn't know any girls growing up. I just knew my sister, and she was off limits. That's when I really wish I knew how you reacted to. Because that tells me, at live shows, I'll say that joke, and then based on that response, I'll know what other jokes to do. Now I just have to assume that you are all turning off your computers and being like, that's enough church for today. Which I don't blame you for. There's not a lot of wisdom in this, but I'm going to talk more about being homeschooled. It was not all bad. We had some perks here in Atlanta. We had homeschool day at Six Flags, which is a real thing. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a random Tuesday when they only let homeschoolers into Six Flags. So the whole place was filled with social anxiety and denim, and so much denim. Like, if you just showed up and didn't know it was homeschool day, you'd be like, oh, it must be denim and not all the way rubbed in sunscreen day. Let's go home. Let's come back on a different day. But it's great if you like roller coasters, because the lines are very short. We are not a courageous bunch, we homeschoolers. We stick to the 4-foot height requirement type rides. So it's great if you like roller coasters, and if you've ever wanted to see a 6th grader on a leash, that is your best place to see one. There's a lot. I don't know where they go for the rest of the year, but for one day you can see them all at a very reasonable price. My parents homeschooled me till they homeschooled me for 10 years, and then they put me in public high school, because I guess they stopped loving me. I don't know what I did. They're just like, you're out of here. And that's a hard transition. I think if you grow up in regular school, you learn all the bad stuff gradually. I learned all the bad words on the first day in the same conversation with our lunch lady. And she caught me right up. She fit them all into one sentence. It was mesmerizing. And we were actually married now, so that worked out pretty well. Met her on the first day. If you guys could just message me on Instagram to let me know if any of this is working, that would be amazing. At Andrew W. Stanley. I would love to know if this, or if it didn't work. Listen, dude, we turned it off. We made it to 10 minutes and 43 seconds, and then after you finish this sentence, we turned it off. But no, that'd be awesome. I feel like that was a lot about my childhood I started with. But here's something more recent. I got my COVID vaccination a few weeks ago, which I was excited about. I know that's controversial. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people think it's the best thing ever. I have no idea. I don't know if it works. I just did it because more people told me to do it than people that told me not to do it. And that's just how I live my life, you know. So far, so good, I guess. But then a guy on Instagram messaged me and said, you know, that vaccine is going to turn you gay. And I did not know that. So I have been really careful this week. I was at a hotel and I was about to get in the elevator, and there was already another guy in there, and I was like, oh, I will get the next one. You know, I don't know when this thing's going to kick in. What if that was China's plan all along? You know, we will turn the Americans gay, and they will stop reproducing, and then in about 80 years, once they kind of slant off, we can come in and take over. By the time we get there, everything will be so nice because of the gay people. I feel like when there's no laughter, I have to explain my jokes again. That's fun. I don't know. My back to my childhood. My parents, they did make me go to real school, and they also made me get a real job. They were like, "You're going to real school? You're getting an actual job." I'm just like, "Are we okay financially? What is happening?" I think they just wanted me to experience the real world, but they did not know it was too late. But my parents let me decide what job I was going to have. This is the point in the show where I would ask you guys if you guys had jobs in high school. So, did you guys have jobs in high school? Yeah, oh good. You guys are like working class people. That's awesome. Yeah, did anybody have like a weird job in high school? I'm doing crowd work to you guys, and it's impossible. I asked that at a comedy club the other day. I asked if anybody had a weird job in high school, and a girl raised her hand, and she said, I worked at a funeral home when I was in high school. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so heavy. What did you do at the funeral home as a high schooler? And she said, I had to drive the bodies around. And I didn't even know that was a job. But apparently, I after thinking about it, I think that might be the best job you could possibly have as like a 15-year-old with your learner's permit, because you just have to have an adult in the car with you. And that's a pretty sweet loophole, you know. Say, officer, I'm actually not breaking the law. If you'll look back there, there is a adult. Gets you off works every time. I don't know. But I decided my job was going to be umpire. I was like, I love baseball. I'll just be a little league umpire. It'll just be like more baseball. Turns out, being an umpire is like 10% baseball and like 90% dealing with the trauma from the things that parents from your community yell at you through a chain link fence. So I'd be back there, you know, just like, all right, you know, strike, and from behind me, just like, oh, you suck. And I'd just be like, I am 15. Were you good at your job when you were 15? I'm pretty sure you go to our church. Like, parents are insane from behind the chain link fence. They act like we're not going to know who they are, you know. And to be fair, I was a pretty bad umpire. Like, I was not exact. I should be yelled at some, probably. Like, I was two things you can't be if you're going to be a successful umpire. I was indecisive, I'm pretty sure, and unassertive. So I'm back there, indecisive, unassertive Andrew, trying to make everybody happy in a job where that should not be your goal at all, because it's impossible. And I remember one time, if you've ever been to a baseball game, you know the umpire makes a call on the field, and whether it's right or wrong, that's the call. They can't be talked out. I could be talked out of it pretty fast. Pretty much whoever argued first would get their way. I remember one time a kid hit a ball down the left field line, and I was just like, foul ball! And the coach comes out of the dugout, he's like, that hit the line, that was a fair ball. And I was like, I think that did hit the line. Okay, you know what, actually, upon further remembering, that hit the line, that's a fair ball. That's a fair ball now. You know, the other coach comes out of his dugout, he's like, yeah, you changed the call, you're not allowed to change the call. And I'm just like, you know what, you're right, I am not supposed to change the call. Back to, you know what, foul ball, back to the original call, it's foul ball again. The poor kid's looking at me just like, am I supposed to run? I'm just like, I think I'm gonna run. I hate this and I'm so bad at it. So, that's usually when people laugh and I can have a natural transition to the next joke, but when there's no one laughing, it seems like a rougher transition. My dog is not even laughing. It is fun. I'm complaining about my childhood a lot, but it does make it easier now that I have like younger cousins who are going through some of the same things. It makes me feel better to see them struggle. Is that good? I have one of my cousins is 6 years old, and he is a liar. I don't know if you guys have liar children in your families. We do. His name is Judd. And in our family, we say lying is the worst thing you can do. Because when you're in a preacher family, you have lots of little mission statements, sayings like that. And so I was watching him recently, and he lied to me immediately. It was cookie related, which is not that big of a deal, but it is a gateway lie. It leads to, it starts with cookies, and then boom, cheese platter, then heroin, So you got to catch it at cookies, right? That's what we say in our family. We say catch it at cookies. Don't even let it get to the cheese platter. So I was just like, dude, Judd, you got to stop lying, man. Lying is the worst thing you can do. And he looked up at me and he said, I know something worse. And I said, what? And he said, worshiping the devil. Good answer. Pretty good. Number one answer on the board, I think, if we're playing the game. Real quick, buddy, before we move on from that, I feel like I need to ask you, have you been worshiping the devil? And he said, no. And I'm pretty sure he was lying. He's so good at it, I don't know how to tell. Later, he kind of snapped out of it. He looked up at me and he goes, hey, Andrew, we're sorry. And you know what, buddy? Have as many cookies as you want. You're just going to do whatever your new friend says until your parents get home. I've seen too many movies to get involved in this. But you guys are fun. I appreciate you laughing. I'm fully aware that this is Sunday morning church for you guys, and I can't believe that I got asked to do this, but it's very fun, I hope. I get to do shows in churches a lot. I get in trouble sometimes, as you might be able to deduce from listening. Hopefully not here with you guys at Next Level, but I don't know. Like when I'm not doing shows in churches, a lot of times I'm in comedy clubs, and a lot of times there I'm the only clean comedian on the lineup, and I really do try to use that as a ministry opportunity, and I try to be a light in a dark place, and then I can come here and be the darkness in a light place. So it's my dream job. So thanks for letting me do it. I'm pretty sure I'm the first person to tell an Amber Alert joke at First Baptist of Liberty Hill in rural Georgia. In fact, I know I was because they told me after. And it was not like in a congratulatory tone. They weren't like, somebody finally did it. It was much more of a, hey, the person that asked you to be here is probably going to be fired tone. So hopefully that doesn't happen tonight, Scott. I'd imagine if this is too edgy, they can just watch this before it ever gets to you and be like, well, we'll just cut that part out. That'd be great. Speaking of cutting things out, a transition, a joke I forgot to tell earlier. I was talking about growing up as a preacher's kid. We had very sheltered childhoods. Like, I was not allowed to watch a lot of movies and TV shows my friends could watch. Like, I was not allowed to watch anything where the kids are disrespectful to the parents. I don't know if you guys have ever watched television before. But it is pretty much all it is these days, just kids yelling at their parents. So I was only allowed to watch like the really old TV shows. Like my favorite show growing up was Bonanza. Hope there's some Bonanza fans out there at Next Level. It's a great older Western TV show. I still love it. I recently went back to see if any of the actors from it are still alive, and I regret to inform you they did not make it. They all died before I was born. So those are the references I took with me into public school 9th grade. I'd just be like, hey, did you guys catch Bonanza yesterday? They'd just be like, I think we got vaccinated for that. I think I had both my Bonanza shots. But the big thing we were not allowed to watch growing up was anything that had like a sex scene in it. That was obviously the one we avoided the most. But sometimes there would be a movie my dad still wanted us to be able to watch that had like, one bad scene in it. So he came up with a solution. Feel free to use this if you're a parent and insane. He would get the DVD of the movie. He would rip it into his computer. He would put it into editing software. He would cut out the bad scene edit the rest of the movie back together, and put it on my video iPod. It would take him 4 days per movie, but he loved me a lot, and he did not want me to see that stuff. So much so, he was willing to commit a felony, by the way, which is what that is. And I just be like, but Dad, if you go to jail, who's going to protect me from the nudity? No one. So now I'm a kid, I've got all these awesome movies on my iPod with these really weird cuts in them, and I just be watching like, oh, I bet that was a good one. But now looking back, I can't help but think that somewhere on my dad's computer today, there's a folder that has all the missing scenes from my childhood in it, and that's the real reason I went quarantined at home for a few months. I was trying to find that folder. I'll send it to you guys if I find it. I've got all your emails. See what happens in Titanic together, you know? I mentioned that my sister got married. All my friends have been getting married, you know? It's aggressive. It's like they're getting married at me. It feels like they're getting married versus me somehow. And I still go to their weddings and I've learned they do not let you throw rice anymore at the end. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but they say that birds were coming down the next morning. They would eat the rice. The rice expands in their stomachs, and the birds explode. Yeah, it's science, I guess. We did not have that in homeschool science. We did not have any science. That was one of the main reasons we went that route. My mom made me throw away my Pokemon cards when she heard me talking about how they evolve. So I was like, Mom, you know we don't believe in Pokemon, right? Like that's not going to be where my battle is. But that's what I was working with. But they had to replace the rice throwing with a bunch of other stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen. This is the part of the show where I'd say, what have you guys seen instead of the rice? And you would say, oh, sparklers, bubbles, birdseed. I was in South Dakota last week, and a lady yelled, mozzarella cheese. So I guess there's all kinds of stuff they replaced it with. I don't know that mozzarella cheese is much easier on a bird's digestive system than rice. But in South Dakota, who really cares? No one's really checked on them in a while. And they're doing fine. I checked on them, and they don't need to be checked on. They're so spread out naturally, they didn't even really hear about any of the stuff going on. My favorite one is the sparklers. I don't know if you guys have seen that on wedding photos. Big 3-foot-long sparklers they give people to hold out as the bride and groom come running through. And I love that as a solution to the problem. They're just like, guys, this rice, it's too reckless. What should we give the people that have been drinking for 4 hours? Something with fire. Flaming arrows. Let's give them flaming arrows they can hold out at eye level. That'll be way safer than rice. My mom called me when she was in the middle of planning my sister's virus wedding, which is what I call it now. And she goes, at the end, she was telling me all the details about where to be, and everything was kind of changing. It was all crazy. At the end of the call, she goes, and Andrew, don't worry, we've heard your hilarious joke about the sparklers, so don't worry, we're not going to have any flaming arrows at Allie's quarantine wedding, okay? We're not going to do that. We're going to do bubbles. We're going to blow bubbles on them. And I was just like, Mom, do you know how viruses work? You know, why don't we just invite all 400 people if we're going to blow floating spheres of death into the crowd? Like, what? What are we doing? Yeah, so we just did rice. And a lot of birds did die. It was rough to see so much destruction, you know, on an otherwise beautiful evening. But no people died, so it seems worth it. It's not like there's a bird shortage, I guess. Okay, well, I'm almost out of time. I'll tell you guys one more thing, and then you can message me about how this went, hopefully. Please seriously message me on Instagram and be like, that was very weird. I really did quarantine with my parents for a few months. I had a great time with them, truly. I can tell that they're getting older, though, and I can tell that my mom is getting older because whenever she does something for me now, she'll go, now you better remember this when it's time to put me in a nursing home. And I don't think I could ever put my mom in a nursing home, you know? It just seems so expensive. It is. I looked into it. It's not a good market for that right now. I think we all have that dilemma of what to do when our parents reach that age. What I've decided I'm going to do when the time comes is just frame her for a crime. let the taxpayer take care of it. Yeah, that's a pretty good plan. I know some wheels are turning out there. You guys like that is actually, I didn't think there was going to be many takeaways from this, but I'm glad we made it to the end because that is now what we're going to do to my parents. I know you're thinking that, and it's because it's a good idea. But if I'm being honest with myself, it's not even just a money thing for me. I think I'm still legitimately upset with her for homeschooling me. And I don't think that's unfair. I didn't get to go to real school. She doesn't get to go to a real nursing home. So, this is when everyone usually stands and applauds. But hey, it is great to be with you guys this Sunday. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. And thanks for letting me do this weird thing.
Listen, Andrew Stanley, what a great time of comedy. Hey, let me give a couple jokes to y'all. Let's see how we go. Y'all ready? What's brown and sticky? You ready? Punchline? A stick. Okay, all right. What about this one? I would tell you a pizza joke, but I think it'd be too cheesy. No love? All right, last one, best one. You ready? I went camping the other day, right? And it got intense. Get it? All right, cool. Don't worry about it. Let's get back serious. Earlier, Pastor Eric talked about baptism, and we want to be with you as you take those next steps in learning about baptism and possibly even signing up for baptism. If you want to have that conversation, please click the QR code on the bottom of your screen, and someone will get back in contact with you to have that conversation. If you call Next Level your church, we want to say thank you for that. And if you desire to partner with us financially, again, thank you. You can do that in two ways. You can scan the QR code that's on the screen now, or you can click the link that's in the chat that our host provides. Again, thank you for any gift that you give. Nothing is too small, and definitely nothing is too large. So listen, we can't wait to see you again next week. You have a blessed and productive week. See you next week.